My name is Steve Ochogo, aka Chogizzy. I'm an actor, I'm a scriptwriter, and a filmmaker. I started acting way back in 2008. Actually, I think it's about 15 years right now in the industry doing acting. And I started out with set books at the Kenya National Theatre, where we're doing traveling theatre, going to schools and performing for the students, just to, showcase the literature set books. So afterwards is when I gained experience in theatre, and I also started doing the public performances. I worked with the Heartstrings Entertainment, and then from there I got my first show on TV. That was 2013, Plot 10. Worked there for about 1 year, 2 years, actually 1 year. And then I got news or information about some auditions that were being done for a Naswa show. It's a show that had really, before going for the auditions, I'd really longed to, try out. Because, doing pranks and the kind of acting that you were doing, ours is all about, dialogue and engaging the fellow actor on stage. That was kind of a different concept. So I really had the desire to, try out, because it's part of art, but it's a kind of acting that I'd really longed to try. So I showed up for the auditions 2014, and luckily I got a chance to be picked. And yeah, that's where my journey with the Naswa prank show started, which was airing on Citizen TV. And it was amazing. It was really amazing and very awesome. My first experience in Naswa doing the prank show, I remember vividly. Actually, my very first prank show, I did it at somewhere around, I was pranking guys on traffic. That was around Nyayo roundabout right there. And of course I was scared, because I was like, okay, how will the reaction be from those guys? So the first one, when I went, I was scared because I didn't know maybe I could get, smacked or hit by either of them. So I did the first one. There was that fear, there was that the anxiety, but I managed to pull it. Of course, with the producer and the director, Max, pushing like, hey, you go and do this thing. Don't worry about the reaction. And also, it's done differently. It's not like how we do like shooting, because the camera it's a hidden camera, and you have to ensure that when you're pranking that person, you have to direct their reactions towards the camera. So those were the kind of movements that we were trying to learn on the first day. It was pretty hard, but as we did, I think we did 2 in that very day, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was fun. It was just fun, trying to fool around with people in town. What inspired me to keep doing the prank show despite the challenges was the fact that you're using your talent to entertain people. That aspect of entertaining people, because Naswa was a big show. It was really a big show. It was being watched on Citizen TV, and there were audiences. So as actors, sometimes we always just want a platform where you can showcase your talent, or you can showcase your ability to do something. So Naswa gave me that platform, and despite the challenges, the fact that people were there, watching you and always enjoying the things that you are doing, that kept me going. Of course, we've had challenges. There's a time I remember, I think my 3rd day of pranking, I got slapped by one of the guys that were pranking when I was doing it in town. And it was in the middle of town. So it is at that moment that sometimes you feel like, this thing, maybe I'm not able to do it, or you can even think of quitting. But I kept pushing and, getting to do it, because the fact that the fans that we had, that fun, that following, it really inspired me a lot, and I really continued doing it. The opportunities that I would say I gained from being part of Naswa show were quite amazing, and a lot. First of all, it was the idea of getting to learn even some tips on just the camera work, because at first I'm from theater, and right now I'm working in a TV production, in a TV show. And just seeing how the camera work, the camera work were being done, and just doing a show for TV, that for me was an opportunity of learning. So just beyond being an actor, I got to learn on doing stuff for TV, and because I'd always wanted to be a director or also a producer with my own show. So that one gave me a very big, it was a very big opportunity to learn. And besides that, having worked there, the experience and just by being part of that show, it marketed me and my skills and my ability, because I'd also been promoted to be the production manager during some time when I was working there. So in other productions also, I got to be given a chance to be a production manager. There's a film that a friend of mine or a producer that I know called me and asked me, because I've seen you being a production manager somewhere, would you do one for me? And I was those are some of the opportunities that it opened for me. And even beyond that, just going out in the streets there, sometimes you are in trouble, or not even trouble, like you need some assistance, and just by being known through the face and the job that you do, I've been able to get some great opportunities. Even sometimes in Matatu, when you go in Matatu and the touts are like, we know you're from Naswa, so you get some advantages. Even sometimes the cops, you get yourself in some need where you'd want a help from a cop, and just by being known and being in that show, it really gave me numerous opportunities. Even in other auditions that I could go to audition, it was very easy, because you see your face is familiar on the screen. So when you're going to audition even for other jobs, they'll be like, I think we've seen you do some stuff. So it marketed my skills out there, and it made it easier for me rather to get those opportunities. And I really appreciated being part of that show. Some of the most scary or rather challenging pranks that I ever got a chance to pull, I can remember there are 3. The first one was when I was carrying guys, the Boda Boda guys. Like I was asking them for a ride, and then I pull out a knife instead of paying them. It was one of the most risky one and challenging one, because they react differently. You see, being dressed there like a gangster, and you're pulling out a knife on a Boda Boda guy. Most of those guys do not like those kind of jokes, and their reactions were varying. Like there's one when I pulled out the knife and he threw the motorbike down and started running, screaming. Then he went back to the stage, like a terminus where they always put their shade. The Boda Boda guys put their shade. And now they came, like a whole lot of them. And then they came screaming that there's a thief. And most of them, they don't like reason easily. So luckily with the team that we have around, they were able to control them and convince them that that one was a prank from Naswa. It took some time to challenge them, but it was one hell of a prank to pull. The other one was we had some army combats, the combat attire, and we went at Changaden, at a place in Kiambu. That prank was done early in the morning. Actually, I remember that morning before we went, and our producer Max was like, "Are you really sure you want to do this?" Then I was like, "Yeah, we are going to do this," because you see, it's a place that we had identified. Most of the guys could start drinking like all the time, 24 hours. So being that there are limited times for drinking, we went there at around 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning with our army combats. But on this prank, we told ourselves, like, we are not going to tell people, like, we're not going to inform them it's a prank. We prank them, and then we had our car ready, the doors were open. Once we finished, we were just getting into that car and driving off. For them, they just realized later after watching on TV that was a prank show. Because if they knew that we were pranking them at that place, and it was a crowd, people were already high in the morning, I'm sure they would have really dealt with us in a different manner. And then the last one we did, which was challenging, was I was playing as a chokora, a street kid, and I was trying to disturb ladies, beautiful ladies who were passing. It was around somewhere around near university, just where the students, Nairobi University students, go to their dormitories there. Said around St. Andrews there. So there's some of these guys came thinking that I was disturbing the ladies. And see, some of them I think were kind of tipsy. So they came and they started getting physical with me. And it was on a very short span. But now, at this point, I had some experiences also doing pranks. So you have to be very sharp and you have to make instant decision. Like you can read someone's mind, like whatever the reaction they are going to do. So psychologically, I had seen them. So they came as a gang of some boys, and they were like, they started fighting. Actually, they started fighting me back, but I was able to, with the help of my friends, were able to stop them. So those were some of the risky or challenging pranks that I got to do. The advice that I would give the aspiring or upcoming actors, those who desire to get in the industry, first is you have the passion, or you believe you have the talent, you go for it. Right now, there are so many opportunities and platforms. It's not like when we were starting out back then. We have so many platforms. Like we have YouTube, we have TikTok, we have Facebook. There are online platforms. Don't just say, how can I start acting? Just start small wherever you can. Let someone see whatever you're doing. There are so many people that have showcased whatever they were doing, and they have blown up to even bigger opportunities. Because not all of us as talents can fit into being on those TV shows. But there are places that you can be able to showcase your talent. And then discipline is paramount. Discipline. Some of us, or some of the people, think that being an actor is just something that it's like we're playing, it's like we're having fun. This is work, this is employment, this is, for us, this is a full-time job. Like personally, this is what I do full-time. I'm an actor, as I said, as a scriptwriter, and also a director, film director. But you see, from acting, I got to learn and developed these other skills. Like, nurture your skill as an actor. Don't just be there like, hey, I'm an actor. Do something, learn, get to learn. We always learn every day. I still learn up to now. There are some new things that I may not have known, but getting to learn. Expose your talent out there. Go for it. Just go for it. Don't wait for someone to come and help you. Start small. Start where you are. There is nothing that is impossible. And respect your job. If you choose to follow this path as the career that you want to gain from it, you really have to respect it as a job. Just the way a banker can go to work by 8, they have their dress codes, they have to be neat, they have to be on time, they have to be sober. That's what or how we should also treat this job. Be professional. And let me tell you, if that skill or that talent and your discipline, you'll just get opportunities following you, because producers and directors will want to work with someone that is disciplined, someone that will be there on time, someone that will be able to perform, someone that is ready to listen and to learn. On my parting shot on how the government can intervene and help advance the film industry. First, I'll talk about the technical side. For the equipment for shooting, the production costs sometimes in terms of production, the shooting equipment. If there's a way they can just really slash down on the taxation, so that we can be able to import even advanced equipment, so that we can do even quality work. That is one. Secondly, it's about the licenses for shooting. If they can make it a single license, putting some procedures that are I will not say unnecessary or unrealistic, but they're tedious. By the time you complete all those processes, you're even unable to do that project. So if they can make it as a single license for shooting, that would be very good for the actors. And then the other thing is about if you're doing pranks, for example. For us, we are focusing on doing pranks. Prank is doing a prank. It has to be real. It has to be authentic. It has to be something that is convincing. We are not supposed to be faking things. For instance, if you are doing pranks where you are supposed to be an army guy, and we had this experience some time back, because if you are an army guy and you want to prank someone as an army person, you have to be convincing to that person that you're an army guy for that prank to pull out the way it's supposed to pull. So there's a time we were using the combats or the uniform for the KDF. And I remember we got arrested. Some of us got arrested. And this is even after we had written letters to the Department of Defense, so that they can be aware that we are shooting. And besides that, if you are shooting, let's say we have a prank and you're supposed to use a real gun, that gun has to be, it's a prop. For us on set, it's a prop. But it has to appear so real so that prank can make sense. So if there's a way we can coordinate, let's say the Ministry of the Arts, and together with the relevant authorities, if there's a way we can just coordinate and make it easier for us. We understand also there are the security issues that have to be, they have to be considered. if maybe we want to shoot like somewhere in the airport, we want to do a prank at the airport, if there's a way we can, liaise with the let's say the Kenya Film Commission and the Kenya Civil Authority, the aviation, if there's a way we can just make it easier for us to be able to pull out these pranks. Because believe me, let me say, there's a lot of pranks that we kept aside. We are not able to do them because of some restrictions that let's say the different authorities have put in place. If there's a way that the government can just come and intervene, we are ready to cooperate. So the most important thing is just cooperating with them, and then ensuring that we promote art. And if it's doing pranks, we do pranks that are realistic, pranks that are authentic and entertaining, but at the same time also to ensure that we do not break the rules and regulations that have been set in place or pose security threats to the public.